How we doing? It's Kingtif with CouchTalk with Kingtif, and we are at My World Studios. And I have a very, very special guest, and she's actually my mentor, Miss Charise Bryant. How we doing?
Great, finding you.
I'm doing great. I'm just happy you sat down with me. I mean, we've actually only met, I want to say it was 2 months ago?
Yes, 2 months ago.
So much has happened since that, and it's been great. And just to be here right now with you is like the momentum. You know, it's just a completely different shift for me personally. But just to see your growth from even 2 months ago is like outstanding. So let's get this started. This is CouchTalk again. So we're at My World Studios. So can you break down what My World Studios is?
My World Studios is a multi-purpose performance art studio. I created this because I am an artist myself, and I want to inspire other artists to not only record but also have a platform where they can rehearse their projects and just be fantastic at it. I don't know.
That's awesome. So we're going to get into your musical background and all of that soon, but where can they find you at on social media?
My Facebook, Charise Bryant, just Charise Bryant. That's it.
It'll be in the link.
Or My World Studios.
My World Studios. And websites?
My website is www.myworldstudios.net.
And again, that'll be in the description below. But thank you so much for sitting down.
Thank you for having me.
I love this person, first off. From the first time I met her, she was just so warming and welcome. And we had a quick conversation the first time we met, and it was during an event. And she was like, yeah, we can sit down for a second. Sat down, then we ended up doing, we ended up planning another sit down. And after that, it's just been growing and growing. So it's just been an amazing experience. So I just can't thank you enough already. So I got to tell these people about your story. I mean, I got to get you to tell these people about your story, because it's just so amazing. So, My World Studios started off as a dream, right?
Yes.
Started off as a hope, but with all dreams has to come the vision, has to come the goals, has to come the action behind it. So, what was the initial goal going into My World Studios?
The initial goal was getting a space. And I think that was the hard part with me being a woman and not having the credit and stuff like that. I had the dream, I had the vision, but actual getting a space is really, really challenging.
Okay,
if you don't know anybody.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your credit look like?
My credit was 400.
400.
Yeah. So yeah, it took me about a year to get everything together, and now my credit score is like 720.
Wow. 400 to 720. Now that's an amazing story. And how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. At 28, she went from 400 to in the 700s, and that's just an amazing jump in itself, because a lot of people start off very young, 18, 21, you know, around that age, and get credit cards fast in college, just spending, not really understanding that this is going to hurt you soon, very soon, before you even know it. So just having that switch go off in your head, what age were you when you realized that it was time for you to make that switch? Like, I need to get my credit together, I need to make this thing happen. 24. 24.
That's when I started writing my business plan, and it was just words. But I really would say 24, and that's when I got a mentor. Her name is Miss Kim Lee from the Akron Urban League. She really taught me everything from the beginning to the end. And but I think, you know, meeting her, she really inspired me to put in the work, because I feel like if it would have came easy for me and someone would have just gave me a building, I wouldn't know the proper steps to become an entrepreneur or to even be here. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I probably was rambling.
No, that's fine. This is what CouchTalk is about. It's just getting the real story behind what make people successful and what they had to go through. And a lot of people don't understand how much work it takes to be successful. So how long have you been My World Studios? How long has it been open for? When was your grand opening?
Grand opening was June 8th.
June 8th, 2018?
2019.
2019.
So we've been open a few months. But,
wow.
Yeah.
But it's been flourishing.
But it's been flourishing, and I'm very grateful because this type of industry is really hard because it's a male-dominated business. So for people to take my business in, and I'm a woman, I'm very appreciative.
That's amazing. What so you started your business plan at 24?
Yes, 24.
So, and you're 28 now, and you've been open for a few months. So it took you about 2.5, 3 years to really put that in motion. What was your mindset during that time of between 24 and the grand opening of like really getting this thing done?
Man, at 24, I think I was super excited, but then adversity hit. And so I feel like I dealt with every emotion from stress, depression, happy, sad. I went through like a roller coaster. But I really think it was worth it in the end because it really helped me grow, you know, and it challenged me. And now I feel like I'm unbreakable.
That's awesome. And I know we've had personal conversations off air to really go in depth into what that looked like. So we're not gonna give you those details.
We'll be here for 2 hours.
For 3 more hours just talking.
Sure.
But moving forward, what's the goals now? That it's open, it's starting to move. What's the goals now?
It's open, starting to move. Now I can start pushing myself, which I'm trying to help other entrepreneurs become entrepreneurs. So yeah, so that's my next step. That's my next goal.
Okay, so speaking of entrepreneurs, how important is it to other entrepreneurs to get connected with other entrepreneurs, especially starting off?
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
I agree, because I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to begin, but even just being around you gave me the motivation to go figure it out.
Right.
So, how important is it to have a team when you're an entrepreneur?
It's very important because I can't do everything by myself. But you really have to see. I'm so used to depending on myself because I went through everything by myself. But my team is so fantastic. I really can trust them. It's small. We went from like 20 people to like 5 people, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful because a lot of people won't believe in you, you know, like you believe in yourself. So having a team to me means a lot, and it's very needed. That's
amazing. So, what was your inspiration to becoming an entrepreneur?
I just did not want to live paycheck to paycheck. I hated struggling. So that was my motivation to be like, I gotta do better. You know, and I have to be an example for my daughter.
Wow. So you have a daughter.
Yes.
So is that something that drives you on a daily basis?
Absolutely.
Her
Absolutely.
Especially you said being in a male-dominated industry, you're really a mountain mover.
Exactly.
I forget the word they call it, but with it like. Basically, you're moving the industry. You're shifting that industry to look at women differently. And I'm always going to, uphold that because that's amazing.
Yeah.
For especially being a woman of color, being young.
Yes.
It just takes a lot of confidence, a lot of courage.
A lot of confidence, for sure.
So talk about that. How did you gain this confidence? How did you gain?
I think having a great mentor.
Really?
Kim, she is the definition of like a woman boss, and I think that kind of like poured into me, and I think that's just really it. And then my mother, she's really confident, and my father, he kind of instilled that in me too because he's just a hardworking person altogether. So I think I was just really blessed to have a family who really kind of instilled that in me.
That's awesome. So the family outside of the business is important, but how important is it for family in the business? So how important were they on the 3 or 4 years that took you to really get to this thing open?
In the beginning, they didn't believe. Because they're like, Charise, you want to do this, you want to do that. And I'm like, no, this is what I really want to do. So it took them about a year and a half to really believe. After they seen my business plan, they're like, okay, this girl's really serious, because she will not write no 100-page nothing. So yeah, I think that's when my father really was like, okay, I wouldn't mind investing in me, kind of help financially.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, always awesome to have. What was the, do you remember, was it a night, was it a week that really was like, look, I have to commit, like regardless of if, because I know there's times where you're swaying back and forth, but you're still going, you know, you're running through those motions, but it's one of those weeks or nights where it was just like, this is it.
I think it was the day that I finally quit my job is when I really had to commit, because I'm like, I literally cut my income off completely, so it forced me to do what I needed to do to get where I needed to be. So I really would say when I quit working at a daycare, they're gonna hate me, but hey.
Speaking of daycares, you just got your certification.
Yes.
Again, and can you speak on that? What was that certification on exactly?
That was CPR and first aid.
CPR and first aid.
You have to have like 6 trainings to become a child care provider.
And you want to become a child care provider to open up another
daycare,
a whole daycare that you run instead of working for a daycare.
Yes, because when I found out how much they're making and how much I'm getting paid, like $10 an hour, I said no. I'll just have to put in the work, but I know I can do it.
And you're one of those people who, instead of working for somebody, you want to own the place.
Yeah, I'd rather own it. Yeah.
That takes a lot.
Something to pass to my daughter.
For sure, for sure. I definitely understand. You speak about mentors a lot. Do you have more than one?
No, just one. Miss Kim Lee.
Just one.
Yeah, just one.
But you also have like a lot of people you talk to, like your banker.
Yeah.
I know you go to. I know you do that at least once a week.
I have to go.
How important is that?
It's very important to build relationships, because it's just important to have a relationship with your banker, your mentor.
Do you have anybody else?
I'm trying to think. No, not right now.
Yeah. Do you think in the future?
In the future, for sure.
So what would be the, do you believe that your team will ever really be complete, or will there always be an additional person you might want to add? Or?
It'll always be additional. It'll always grow.
Yeah.
You know, that's what life is about, is growing. And I want to give other people opportunities to become a team member or add something to the business.
Okay. So you have your My World Studios team.
Yes.
You have your Charise Bryant team.
I am my Charise Bryant team right now.
But also your mentor, your banker. That I believe that's a team in itself, because they're looking for your best interest instead of you're looking, because you're the leader of My World Studios, so you have to look out for their best interest in the company as a whole. Yes. So you need people who's looking out for you.
Absolutely.
And knows the ins and outs.
Yes.
And how did you ever have trust issues with that?
I did in the beginning, because I'm like, I got screwed over so much in the beginning. I'm like, who to trust, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just really fortunate that my banker is a woman.
Wow.
Miss Kim Lee is a woman. So they kind of school me on the things that they know. So that kind of really helped me open up and be a little bit more open.
That's good. So with being an entrepreneur, and I know we spoke on Robert Kiyosaki's philosophies and books. Being in a business mindset, you have to kind of delegate more than just doing yourself as like a self-employed. You know, we talk about the quadrants and things of that nature. Are you still building that trust in your team to really follow through on what your vision is on certain things, or is your team locked in?
My team is locked in.
They're locked in?
Yeah, they're locked in. They've been with me for about the beginning. Well, the core four or five people I have, they've been with me for about 2 or 3 years.
Wow. So yeah. Did it take that long for you to really build that trust behind them?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure, because I needed to see their work ethic.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's very important. So let's get to the music.
Okay.
I know you're a singer.
Yes.
Have you released any music?
No, I'm actually going to start a girls group.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have a name for it yet?
Not yet. We don't have one yet. We're just in the early phases trying to develop it.
Early phases, but she's amazing.
Thank you.
Do you have anything? So you do a lot of singing with a lot of different singers and stuff.
Yes.
What for the group is concerned? What would you be looking for if anybody's seen this and wanted to reach out to you?
I am looking for women that's very like empowered in their self-driven. Like I don't want anyone that I have to beg to come to rehearsal and practice. And someone that's really nice, like a really genuine good person.
That's good. So work ethic is huge for you.
Huge. That's number one.
And I know you told me this before, but you don't believe anybody can outwork you.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it. If they do, we got to be best friends for sure. But no.
So work ethic is major. If you're singers out there, looking for a group, my girl, right there, My World Studios, it's here.
Be ready to work.
Be ready to work though. You got to be ready and be flexible to work. So what's the biggest struggle musically for you right now?
I won't say a struggle. Right now, I guess it's just finding 2 group members.
Because you have one, right?
Yeah, I have one, possibly another one, but we'll see how that goes. But finding good members, that's the challenge.
Okay. Did you have any struggles? When did you start actually?
I started singing as a little girl, but professionally and like actually recording 14 years old.
Wow, 14 years old.
And I started getting paid for writing for people at 19.
So you're a writer too? Wow.
Yeah.
And you also do A&R work as well.
Artist development, yes.
Now let's talk about how you got into that, because you worked at another studio before this.
Yes, for
Can you
5
tell us
years.
that story?
I actually worked at another studio for 5 years. I was their marketing director.
Okay.
So I helped really bring in clients and stuff like that. And I'm an artist myself, so a lot of the rappers that would come in, they would want someone on their hooks. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm here. I'll sing. And my name just started spreading. And then I would get females that would come to me and say, hey, can you write for me? I really like your records. And that's where it just really began. Like, we started to write for people and harmonies and arrangements.
That's amazing. So what does an A&R look like?
For me, I feel like I'm an artist developer, so I'm more in the what is it? Community of really putting artists together, like not just singing or dancing, but the whole work ethic of like knowing how to do interviews, being polished, being just a good all around artist, knowing how to have stage presence and performing, and that's what I do.
That's your niche.
Yeah, that's my niche.
That's all, and I think that's that's one of the most important things and missing in the industry right now is really these polished artists, because a lot of artists are kind of blowing up so fast they really don't know
they skip the artist development part. That's why it's a one-hit wonder, or they have a little phase and then they're out.
I agree. I think longevity lies in the A&R and the development process. Yes. And have you ran into any artists that really don't want to develop?
You get that all the time, because a lot of people just like to record. True. And
they think that's all it is.
They think that's all it is. And I need to do a video, I want to perform, but you don't have the work ethic. You can record all day, but if you don't have the total package, you're going to
fizzle out.
Yeah, you're gonna be with everybody else, you know.
Okay, so every interview I do, I give my interviewee 5 words. Okay. And each word, I want you to clear your mind right now.
Okay. I'm trying to clear my mind.
So each word, I want you to say whatever comes to your mind first. And then if you want to explain behind the word, you can. If not, we can move on to the next word.
Okay.
All right. So the first word I have is patience.
That's my everyday life. It's having patience.
Want to elaborate, or you just want to go to the next one?
I'll go to the next one.
All right. Investing.
Important. Very, 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 very important. Especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, investing is key.
Investing how?
All different ways. I say property is the best investment.
Property. So real estate.
Real estate, or buying a small little house and flipping it. I want to see my investments every month. I don't want to wait 20 years or 10 years. So property.
Okay. Entrepreneur.
Me.
And we'll leave it at that.
Entrepreneur.
We'll leave it at that. That's awesome. Brand.
Very important. I feel like your brand is an introduction to you.
Okay.
And I feel like that's very important.
Awesome. And my last word is kind of two words. Good business.
That is very, very, very important, because that would make or break your company, you know.
So you said when you first got started that you had a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
And I'm sure it was a lot of financial bad business.
Yes.
I know we've talked personally of certain examples that you kind of had to go through. Do you want to give the people anything example-wise that how you had to handle it and how you had to come back from that? Do you have any examples?
I don't want to go too deep, but I would say when hiring a contractor or anybody, like, really look into their company to see if they're even able to really do this, because there's a lot of con artists out there and schemes or scams or whatever you may have, but it's very important to really do your research. So, yeah.
I think that's very key. Research in anything you want to do is important, and especially when you're talking about your money.
Yes.
You want to do as much research as possible. Don't stop yourself from doing what you want to do because you don't think you know enough, but definitely do the research behind it.
Yes. You just don't want to make any desperate moves.
Exactly. So on Couch Talk, I try to talk to people who have an intelligence about them, who have kind of a mindset, a plan. How important is a plan to you?
That is the Bible to me. Without a plan, it's just a dream. Yeah. And I know that's the cliche or people say, but it's very important to have a plan, so you can see the long view. I feel like if I didn't have a plan, I would just
floating.
Yeah, be like everybody else, just putting out, I'm going to open up a studio, I'm going to open up a studio. But I had to physically write out so I can be accountable of that I'm going to finish my plan, you know. So
that's awesome.
Super important.
I always ask, what was the last book you read?
I'm reading Michelle Obama's book. I think it's actually on my desk.
Is it?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, so we're going to put that in the description below. We all love Michelle Obama.
I love her.
Are you an avid reader?
Not really.
Okay.
Audio books for me.
Really? So let's talk about audiobooks, because I want to get into those. When do you listen to them?
In the morning.
In the morning.
First thing in the morning before I wake up. Before I wake my daughter up, I really like to use that as food.
About how long?
I don't read for long, maybe an hour.
Hour, okay.
Listen for an hour.
And are they self-help books? Are they more autobiographies?
That.
Do they teach you more?
Yes.
Than a self-help book may teach you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any auto books that you would suggest to the people off the top of your head? I know you said the Michelle.
I like the Michelle right now. I think I read her Faith Evans. I love Faith Evans. She's my favorite singer.
Really?
So listening to her life story is kind of very similar to mine, and the highs and lows. So
listening to somebody that kind of relates to
me.
I think that's very important. All right, and my last question of the interview is, what advice would you give to an upcoming entrepreneur?
Seek for a mentor. Seek for a mentor, and just be focused and really like be confident. Like fake it till you make it type thing.
Okay. Well, this was Couch Talk with Kingtif, and I have my lovely guest with me. We are at My World Studios right now. I will be doing more interviews here because I love her and she loves me, and we're going to do more things here. So be on the lookout. It's Kingtif. Thank you.
Yay.